When I started my coaching business, I started coaching on the thing I was doing in my agency. But I got to tell you, while I love the idea of reaching more people, social media has never been my greatest love and passion. And I would go and speak at all these events. And when I would get off the stage, people would sign up for my program, but they'd always ask me, how do you speak like this? So I've been asked this for a really long time. And we just started by doing a little workshop for people on speaking. He was in the green room doing the workbooks as I'm teaching. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he said, I'm growing my coaching business and I'm following along as you're teaching. I said, you want to grow a coaching business? Yeah. So I'm like, I can help you with that. So I became his coach.
Hi, Justin and Kim. Welcome to the show. I am so excited to meet you guys because you are now the new power duo in the public speaking world. How is that going?
We're still like hemming our capes and they're not fully embroidered yet. Pretty good. We're working on that one.
Working on our superhero move.
If you're already having the caves, you are pretty close to flying. So I can't wait to see what happens when you do. Justin, you obviously have a background in network television and appearing on a bunch of television shows. And then Kim, you are the business mind behind all of this. How did you guys come together?
Oh my goodness. Like you said, I've been in entertainment for the better part of 30 years and started out on American Idol, went from Broadway to Broadway, and then television and everything in between. But I've always had this desire to want to expand beyond even though I'm paid well, the hourly wage of being an entertainer. And I love to coach and I love to work with artists as well as people in business. And so the pandemic hits and I get on this app called Clubhouse. Now, before then, I'd been doing some coaching. I actually wrote a book. I had really been on this entrepreneurial journey, but it wasn't until I got to Clubhouse and started being in these rooms with these amazing marketers. And all of a sudden I find myself in a room with Kim Walsh Phillips, who is saying some amazing stuff, talking about some of the amazing things that she's done in business. And then from there, you actually asked me to come and MC one of your big events.
Yeah, I invited him. We had to go from in-person events, which we were using to grow our business, and it was going incredibly well. Pandemic hits, we go to virtual, and I connected with Justin, and we thought it was later, but we actually found an email recently, like it was pretty quick from after meeting him. I'm like, be a guest on my summit, come speak on this thing, because I understood he knew marketing, he had celebrity, and those pieces will be really important. We invite him to be an MC for one of our events. He comes to the in-person studio while I'm teaching on the stage. Normally an MC would be off and putzing around and talking to you. He was in the green room doing the workbooks as I'm teaching. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he said, I'm growing my coaching business and I'm following along as you're teaching. I said, you want to grow a coaching business? Yeah. So I'm like, I can help you with that. So I became his coach. Then he started doing coaching work for our clients. And then while we were on, I was recruited to be on Bravo's Below Deck Sailing while we were on that show. Justin and I end up coaching the whole crew on their market, their message, their mission. And a producer pulled me aside and said, you guys have something here. There's some magic to this. And on our flight home, while we're going through immigration back to the United States, we said, we should try to do something with this. And we started getting some celebrity clients and regular entrepreneurs. And then we officially kicked off the business about a year ago. And it's been an amazing journey of growing a 7-figure business in 12 months using speaking.
Wow. Wow. Talk about one of those stories where people just get together out of nowhere. I was going to say, Kim, you were featured on Bravo. You already are a founder of Power for Professionals. Teaming up with Justin here, what was the idea behind going after public speaking as opposed to anything else? Because you're good at many things.
I had been a coach in the direct response marketing and social media space for a really long time. And it came from the first company that I grew, which was a social media marketing agency that I was able to grow and exit from. We sold that company at the beginning of 2008. And so when I started my coaching business, I started coaching on the thing I was doing in my agency. But I got to tell you, while I love the idea of reaching more people, social media has never been my greatest love and passion. And I would go and speak at all these events. And when I would get off the stage, people would sign up for my program, but they'd always ask me, how do you speak like this? Where did you learn? Where were you mentored? What is the thing? Can I learn this from you? So I've been asked this for a really long time. And we just started by doing a little workshop for people on speaking. I wasn't looking to go all in on that, maybe 3 years ago. Yeah. And it went really well. And then we kept being asked more and more to come do more workshops on that topic. And it feels like everything that I've done in my career and personal life led to focusing on this, using the market, the message, the ROI, and the performance to grow businesses.
Love it. Love it. So when you are now in the speaking world, how do you think your program is different than others? Because there's so many other programs out there. What is your unique angle to this?
The unique angle that we
His curls.
What-
And
and we really are focused on really helping people to become, yes, a highly paid elite keynote speaker, but developing their celebrity. And we love to take the entertainment aspect, and because we live in this social media entertainment driven world, it is super important that we marry great copy, understanding who your right fit client is, having that right fit message, with then the entertainment aspects of being able to deliver your story, your product, your service in a way that captivates and engages an audience, much like those big billion-dollar brands like Disney and Apple do. They have not the secret, I would say. There's a reason why they're so successful. There's a reason why their campaigns work, because they're able to mix those two ideas. And so we love to bring that flavor to people who want to get up in front of an audience and become that highly paid keynote speaker who expands their business and gets in front of the right fit clients.
because there are a lot of speaker coaches out there that talk about celebrity, but they haven't actually been on the entertainment stage for over 20 years like Justin has. And there's a lot of people that talk about using it to grow your business, but there's not a lot of speaker coaches who've generated over $1 billion in revenue like I have. So it's really taking the right message, the right market, the right performance, and using it to grow your business. Because my favorite quote is, "In God I trust, everyone else bring data." We only come up with the speech after we've determined what's the purpose of it. What are you trying to get it to do? What kind of growth do you want to have? We set up that goal first, then pick the market, then pick up the problem you're going to solve in the market. And then this is a really big one for everyone listening. It's important that you talk about the problem in the words that your target market uses to describe it. You cannot talk about your process, the thing you want to fix about them. So I can't tell you how many people come to us and say, "I want to talk about people's purpose. I want to talk about their calling, their passion." Yes, we know that feels really good. That's like soul work. But nobody woke up today saying, "You know what? After I go work out, I want to deep dive into my purpose." That's not how they talk about things. They talk about solving a specific problem. When you can get the target market to see you as somebody who's reading their mind, when you use the words that they use, then you can go deeper with them later on after they know and trust you into whatever soulful calling you might have.
I love it. Both of you are working on such unique angles. From a performance perspective, I always say that not everybody who has a mouth is a speaker, and not everybody who's a speaker knows how to speak. The fact that you can put that entertainment aspect of it into a meaningful message makes it so much more appetizing. Because there are speakers who go up there, and I know they're saying many important things, but I probably can't help it. So the fact that, Justin, you're bringing the entertainment aspect of it, and for Kim, really dialing down into that business message so that we know what we are talking about is resonating with the client, almost like you are joining the conversation that they're already having in their mind. That's the secret sauce, it seems like, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, it is a challenge for a lot of people to get up on the stage. When someone gets up on the stage is one of the most brave things that you can do in business, because so many people, if we were to take a funeral, for example, so many people in the world would rather be the one in the casket than the one delivering the eulogy on the stage. And yet, when someone takes the time, the effort, and the energy to get up on stage and then bores their audience, has something that they feel passionate about, that they've spent decades of time, energy, effort, money, tears, sweat, discovering a secret or a powerful product or service, and then they aren't able to communicate that to an audience and serve that audience at the highest level, it's sad. And so what we love to do is we love to take those very same things that can be super boring and make them exciting, interesting, engaging. So the people that do have the bravery to step on the stage and deliver their message end up delivering it in the right way to the right people and get that ROI that they deserve.
And there are people who I think might be listening to this right now and think, okay, that's really cool, but I could never. That's the thought. Like, this is the phrase they have in their head. I could never get on the stage. Because as soon as they start thinking about that, they get anxious, their heart starts beating really fast. But we have a coaching client. She was from Russia, and her family was part of Russian royalty, and she was in the Russian ballet. So think about this: Russian ballet, Russian royalty. This is a lot of pressure. And she had this one performance, and she forgot what she was supposed to do. She just stood there in fear, and she was chastised from her family for a very long time, put in very compromising positions because of this. And she came to us, and we're talking about real fear. Like, she had something traumatic happen to her when she got on the stage. But guess what? The feeling we have from fear from getting on the stage is based in some kind of memory or behavior or habit that your brain has created. It is just like we can learn how to walk or pick up a cup and take a drink. We don't have to think about it. There's some negative feelings we sometimes learn that we can unlearn. So with her, we just started to walk with her in baby steps. Tell us a story like you would tell your best friend. Okay, now tell your story that you told your best friend in front of a small group. Now let's put you in front of a bigger group. And through time, she was able to completely rewire that fear trigger. And now she's in Toastmasters and she wins every competition they have. So if you're thinking about this right now, the I could never, I just challenge you to think, how could, I'm willing to get curious to see how I could. And if you're willing to, there is a process you can learn to go from super freaking out about getting on stage to literally giving yourself a chance to share a message that you have in your heart or on your mind that you want to share with the world.
Performance anxiety is a real thing. And for some people, there are some traumatic experiences, like you said, that stops their entire career. So the fact that you're able to dig deep and walk them through baby steps to overcome that, that's worth its price in gold, right? Let me ask you this. There are listeners who are listening to this right now and thinking, maybe there is something in me, maybe there isn't. I'm not really sure if I have a big enough message to share. Do you work with people to help understand if something can be extracted out of them? Are they just thinking lesser of them and there's more into them?
Yeah, we have a process we walk people through, because whether somebody already has a talk they want to share, chances are their messaging is a little bit off, because one of the things that I specialize in is pinpointing a message that will actually get you booked on stages as an elite keynote speaker. And then, so whether they already have a talk, they don't know what their talk is, or they don't even know where to start, we will identify what their talk is. And then Justin, you help to identify their authentic voice.
Yeah, exactly. When we nail that message, when we nail that right fit client, who it is that who's going to resonate with that message, then it's all about how do we use our unique gifts, our voice, our face, our body to also tell that message. Because look, we are human beings. We are animals, and we'd love to say, for example, that we don't judge a book by its cover, but we do.
We do. We're very judgy.
There's that animal part of our brain that just is designed to keep us safe no matter what. And so when someone steps on a stage, we're immediately judging them from the moment they step on the stage, from the moment we see them. It might be nice things, it might be unnice kind things, but we are judging safety, we're judging all kinds of things. So then how do we, and we love to work on how do we, from the moment you hit the stage, help you to project that air of confidence, that air that allows you, your audience, to instantly know and trust you. And it's a lot of fun.
There's this thing too that I think, and I'm just going to say it, there are some gurus in our industry, and I'm going to quote the gurus, because I think that they are doing an incredible disservice. They have a set script and a set performance and say, raise your hand here, take a safe drink of water here. And what they're trying to get people to do is to become someone that they're not on the stage. And let's say you follow that script, you become someone you're not, you do a really effective talk. What are you doing? You're attracting people to you who don't even know who you are. Then people want to work with you on someone who's not even you. And then you've got to pretend to be this person all the time, which is incredibly exhausting. Instead, what we do is unlock who you actually are. So we have a client, Howard Globus. He's an IT professional and he is in the cybersecurity space. And again, nobody woke up today being like, I really want to talk about cybersecurity. Not at all. But what he specialized in, we said, okay, who's the people you really want to work with? He said, financial advisors. Okay, cool. What's something that they care about? And they had this whole new regulation happening that they're all freaking out about. So we made the talk about that. And that what we found out about him was he has good, dry humor. And we're like, stop getting on the stage thinking you have to be this uber professional and talk in this weird voice. Be you. Let's put some dry humor in your talk. And once we started doing that, like allowing Howard to show up like Howard, he was so much more natural, because now I'm not giving a speech, I'm talking to people like I normally would. Now it's natural, and he gets booked all over the world to talk about a topic that he has millions of competitors on, but he's seen as the go-to authority simply because he shows up like himself.
What I love about you guys and there's so many things that separates you from everybody else. But one of the things I absolutely love about you guys is that you are straight to the point. There is no dilly-dallying. There is no sugarcoating because you truly grounded into helping others. To your point earlier, there are so many coaches who have a very specific script, and I'm in this space a lot, who will tell you step by step, like when to breathe and when not to breathe. And the way I always look at it is it's like telling someone step by step how to act on a date. Now, what happens in the
I
waiter
was just
just gives you
thinking
the
that.
water.
I'm going to be honest, Mark. I was not thinking date, but something similar that you might do with another person. And I was like, imagine telling someone a step by step of what to do there, and everyone has to follow that. That would be a terrible life to live.
Yeah.
But what if the waiter gives the water on the left side as opposed to the right side, right? And more
Yeah.
importantly, what you just said, Justin, also is like the person you're selling yourself as when you're following a script like that is not who you are.
Yeah.
And while the speech might be powerful, the moment someone now chooses to work with you, you come off as a fraud. So the point that you are actually pushing people to be themselves, not only is a step of personal growth for them, because they are learning to live in their skin better and better, but also they're so much more confident and they have a much better trajectory in the speaking world because of the authenticity.
Absolutely.
Can you give an example, Kim? You talked about how you're able to really get that message targeted in a way so that the person is the most useful on the stage and talking about things that relates to their clients. Can you give a small example of something that has happened with a previous client where when they came to you, they thought they should be talking about this, but when you work with them, you realized, no, this is your genius zone?
Yeah, we have a client, Scott, who is the head of his own financial firm. He's a financial advisor, and he's spoken before, as many financial advisors do. They'll go to Chamber of Commerce events, Rotary Club, and he would talk about financial planning, how important financial planning is. Is it true that financial planning is important? Absolutely, 150%. But one of the things that Kim and I love to say is that no one woke up saying, gosh, I'm going to have my coffee and some eggs and bacon, and boy, I hope somebody comes along and just really tells me how to financially plan. I can't wait to financially plan today. Nobody wants to financially plan. It's annoying. However, it's necessary. But when Scott came to us and he's, look, I haven't had this message and it's just not working. I want to scale my business, but I keep hitting this roof. We were like, okay, what do your ideal right fit client want? If you could pick one client that you could duplicate over and over again, that's your most favorite, that would get you out of bed and be super excited to work with them every day, who would it be? And he said, it's that for that business owner who is looking for the next step, who's looking to sell their business and kind of in that place where if I sell my business, I have enough to live the lifestyle that I want to live, to go travel, to be the philanthropy, the things that I want to do. And so we said, okay, what's that message? What, instead of financially plan, what if we talked about, hey, the sell now formula? How much would you need to sell your business for in order to meet your lifestyle goals? And when he started delivering that message to that right fit client, the first time he did it in a sales presentation, he ended up closing 20% of the room. And his offer was to get on a strategy call and to speak with them. And each one of the clients that he ended up landing was a 6-7 figure client for him over the lifetime valuation of that client. Yeah. And so that's just that little tweak. Yes, we know, you, me, Kim, we all know what our right fit client needs. But when we can actually talk about what they want and reach them on that thing that they wake up in the morning thinking about, that's when that secret sauce that we talked about, it feels like we're reading their mind, comes in. That's when they say, okay, I think I want to step into your world. I know I trust this message. And then once we get them in, not only do we give them what they want, but then we can start to give them all that stuff that they need, that they would have not come to us in the first place if we had just tried to hit them with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's almost like sometimes they're so close to it, they can't see it. And they need an outside expert like yourself who understand what works on the stage and what doesn't, to be able to really reshape their view and then extract it out of their mind. I like it. Tell us a little bit of a process of what it is like for a new client to start working with you. Let's say someone is listening to this and they are really interested. What does the process entail?
We dive in, and actually I can give you for example for another story for another client. So the goal here is that you want to get paid before, during, and after you're on stage. That's the ultimate, because literally speaking on stage is the only way to make a lot of money generating clients. And like my social media world, you're spending a lot of money to generate clients. If you're getting paid to speak on a stage, you're literally getting paid to get clients in the door, which is amazing. So in order to do that, when we work with folks, we first have to discover where's their business at now and where do they want it to go? Because we want to know where's your final destination in all this, because we're going to get you there. So we need to know what your vision is, where you want to go. Who's your favorite client that you work with that you want to get more of? What do you eventually want to sell this person? Not the offer you're going to make from the stage, but what is the ultimate that you want to sell them on the back end? And then for speaking, what is a easy yes offer you could make from the stage? It might be give them a free gift. It might be sell them a course. It might be get them on a strategy call. We'll determine that. And then we're going to back it up from there. What's the problem you're going to solve for them in your talk? What's a story you have that relates to a time you solve that problem when you solve that problem for a client? And then we build the keynote speech after that. And then they work on their performance. Where a lot of other people just go right into their story, right into their speech with no strategy involved. And we always start with strategy first before you build the talk. Now, you might have an amazing story that's not right fit for the beginning of your talk, this talk. It doesn't mean we can't build it into the story, because a lot of times we could put some of those key pivotal story moments later in the talk, or it ends up becoming a talk you share with your clients, or you make a social media. Like, if you have a story you feel really strongly you want to share with others, there's a right time and place to share it. It just might not be in your keynote talk. And we'll also guide them on that where it makes sense to share some of that content. Oh, and I was sharing with Brian. So we dove into his market. He's a coach and he coaches home service contractors. And what we determined with him was his right fit client is someone who's already investing in marketing. And he is someone who can show them what to do differently and make more money with their marketing. So we made a talk all about 5 changes to make to your ads to have it produce more revenue. And we launched his talk. He did 1.25 million in 30 days, filling up his brand new mastermind, just by identifying the right market, the right message, and the right offer to make from the stage.
Yeah, before you go perform on the stage, you have to know what you have to do. And
Yep.
so many of us know that the stories that we think are the best about us aren't the stories that others end up liking. It happens in real life and on stage as well. So the fact that you're able to dig deep and really look at strategically and be able to pull the best pieces out and help them understand what should go where, I think is where the magic lies. And then after that, Justin, you come in with the performance speech. So can you give a little example of the listeners about the types of things you do to be
Maybe you
able
could go soup.
Sure. Yeah, part of the process of coming into our world, I love to focus on the voice, the face, and the body, right? How do we align the messaging with the actual delivery of that message, the visual aspect and the vocal aspect of that message? And so a great example of that is Dr. Bashima. We have a doctor who is a wonderful, brilliant doctor with gut health. Her message is all about so much of our illnesses, our diseases come from challenges we have in the gut, yet she's a doctor, right? Very cerebral, very much up here, hasn't really focused on performance of any sort, right? She's used to just walking in the office and being very clinical and talking to patients. And yet when I started working with her and we started talking about the emotional life of her stories, the emotional life of the patients that she's been working with. For example, there was a 20-year-old who came into her office, 20-something, but had arthritic pains like she was in her 60s.
Mhm.
And so the first time that she started talking, Dr. Bashima started talking about her patient, it was this very clinical analysis. But then I said, wait a minute, we want to touch people on a visceral level. So how can we use our voice? And because she was very clipped and very doctor, I said, wait, let's fall into a place like where I am right now, that feels a little bit more intimate, that feels a little bit more like we're talking about something that is really touching to us. And then how do we, from a visual aspect and facial aspect, how do we add a little smile to that, concern in the eyes? And then physically, how do we just hold ourselves? And it sounds complicated, but it's so much easier than you think. And so it's little tweaks like that where we can align the visual and the auditory presentation with the actual stories that we're telling so that you can create this wonderful narrative where people can not just hear what you're saying, not just see what you're saying, but they can also feel it on a deeply visceral level as they watch you up on the stage or as they watch you in a virtual format.
I was going to say, Justin, your tone of voice and presenting yourself is so good. I wanted to hear more about gut health for a second. I didn't want you to stop talking.
And that's the power. That's the power you have when you have that right fit message that you present it to the right fit client in a way that makes them feel something. Because the last thing I'll say about this is that a lot of times I'll talk to our clients in one of our monthly coaching calls that we have, and I'll ask them, hey, what business are you in? Oh, I'm in IT, I'm a doctor, or I'm an accountant, I'm this, that, and the other. Okay, great. What business are we all in? And people, are we in the sales business? No, the marketing business. Okay, those are all correct answers. But really, at the end of the day, the business we are all in is the feelings business. And how do we make our right fit client feel like listening to us, feel like making a change, feel like considering a new perspective, feel like investing in us, feel like investing in themselves. And so that's the power and the magic sauce that Kim and I love to bring to our clients.
Perfect. Now, does one have to have prior speaking experience before they can start working with you?
No, we work with people who want to be a keynote speaker but don't know where to start. They've tried to be a keynote speaker and it hasn't gone as they wanted, or they're an advanced keynote speaker. They need to have a business. So we want them to, that's really the qualifier. Typically, the people we work with already own a business and they have some kind of desire and some kind of performance experience. Maybe they were on stage as a kid in a theater at performance at school, or they played in the school band, or they were in the choir, or they were in debate, and they really enjoyed that experience. They have a podcast. They really enjoyed that experience and want to get in front of others. But we work with a lot of people who are just starting because there's a blueprint you follow, and everybody starts from zero. There is no baby that comes out of the womb with a podium. Everybody learns how to do this. So it's a learnable process that we enjoy sharing. And sometimes for us, it's actually easier to work with people who haven't been doing it because we can show them the right way from the beginning. But we also love a challenge of my advanced speakers that come to us and that we rework the way that they do it as well.
One of our clients, Donna, had been on the stage for 30 years, delivering the same exact message with the same exact stories, was so ingrained. It was something that had worked for her, but she always felt underneath all of it that she had a different calling. That there was some piece that was missing that would help her.
And I set her talk on fire. I'm going to be honest.
But you know what? It was fantastic because she just said to us, oh my goodness, this was it. This was that piece, that thing that I've been feeling all this time. I know I've had so much success. I've done such great things with this other speech for 30 years, but this was that missing piece. And so again, whether you have been speaking for a very long time or just starting out, we love to help you get maximum eye on your message, your product.
And then get booked on the stage, because that's another really important part, Mark, that we want to make sure that your talk title is so good that event organizers book you because they want to hear your talk. Like that's the goal of the talk title, that they feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't book this person, I'll miss out on hearing it. Because you could have an amazing talk, you could have amazing performance, you could have an amazing message, but if you don't get booked, what good is that doing? And so that's a key piece of it, is that there's certain nuances that will require you to have in place in order to get booked. And it really requires you to be very specific in your talk title, have it sound like nobody else, so you become the obvious choice for events to get booked.
Absolutely. How is the program structured? How much of it is recorded? How much of it is coaching calls with you guys?
We have a blueprint that all of our coaching clients get is the second they join with us. So as fast as you want to go or slow as you want to go, you have immediate access to it. And then they get weekly coaching with us ongoing. So it's literally live coaching with Justin and me. We don't have people filling in. You're getting persuasion coaching and performance coaching every week. And people jump in and work with us when they are about to have a talk or they want to change their message message, or they're building their new market, or they want to get booked on more stages. So they have the ability to go as fast as they want with personalized coaching the whole time.
Yeah, and we have a hub where all of our community exists. We have a Facebook group, and then we have a hub where you can go and look, life happens. Even through the best laid plans, life will get in the way. And we always make sure that we're showing up live. But if you can't be with us live or be with the experts that we bring in live as well, that's another one of our calls. The replays are all there. The bonus material is all there. Access to everything. Even just if you're like, oh, I can't make this live thing, but I want to ask a question and I want to make sure that I get that question answered. There's all spaces and places to do that inside our program.
Yeah.
I really like that because there are a lot of other programs out there that do not have that live coaching aspect of it. It's a lot of promises at the beginning of the process, and they just sell you into a recorded program where you're just watching videos like watching YouTube, and there is no feedback whatsoever. So the fact that you take your time out of the day to be able to give persuasion coaching and performance coaching, guide them throughout the process. How long does this coaching last? Is it lifetime or does it end at some point?
It's ongoing. So this is I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna put all the cards on this table. The program is only the Elite Speaker Blueprint. It includes an entire year of coaching is $997. That's it, or $97 a month for 12 months. So that's what we're talking about. And people stay in it ongoing, but that's it. So you're getting the full blueprint and ongoing coaching with us for $97 a month, less than the price of going out to dinner one time. You're going to unlock how to get on stages and deliver your message.
I'm not going to say names, but I know competitor programs that are more than 5x the price, giving less than half of what you're giving. Incredible, incredible. I love the mission. I love the mission. There are many people with many strong stories who sometimes are not able to come out on the stage because of their past experiences with public speaking. Maybe they don't feel like they're good enough. There are some people who have been saying the same story for 30 years. And nobody really took the time to be able to sit down and tell them, hey, this is a story and this is good, but we can make you great. And the fact that you are there live with people, working with both ends of the spectrum, not only working on the tactical components of how to book and how to get paid, but also be able to entertain people so that you can get booked and paid more. I think this is going to be the next biggest thing. So thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else that you would like to add for the audience?
I want to give them a special link that's just for your audience. Nobody else has, because we're going to throw in some bonuses just for your folks that get it. Justin and I do a free workshop every single week where you can come on and we work with you on your market, your message, your performance. And it's a 90-minute workshop once a week. And you can check that out at speakandgrowrichworkshop.com/Mark. That's speakandgrowrichworkshop.com/Mark. And we would love to see you there.
Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you for your time. I can't wait to work with you more and see how many people come up to you. I know people and their faces, and I would love to see them on a stage and know that you guys got them there.
Oh, can't wait either. Thanks so much.